Today, I'm going to take you on a tour of the world-famous Queen Mary. There she is. She kind of resembles the Titanic a little bit, don't you think? And there is the Long Beach Cruise Terminal, which I'll be cruising out tomorrow on the Carnival Radiant. And here's our room. I stayed on an inside cabin, and these cabins are huge. Not bad, not bad. They didn't really have a lot of closet space. They just had one little closet in the corner, but they did have two beds that had really good mattresses. They had all of the updated stuff for like USB ports and a lot of plugs. And we had cartoons on when we came in. I have no idea why. But the bathrooms were huge. So as I go around the ship and show you everything there is to do, I will go ahead and give you some history on the Queen Mary. The RMS Queen Mary is a retired British ocean liner. It operated primarily in the North Atlantic Ocean from 1936 to 1967 on the Cunard Line. Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth were Cunard's two-ship weekly express services between Southampton and New York. Queen Mary sailed on her maiden voyage on May 27, 1936, and won the Blue Ribbon that August. She did lose the title to the SS Normandy in 1937, but recaptured it in 1938 and held it until 1952. With the outbreak of World War II, she was converted into a troop ship and ferried Allied soldiers during the conflict. On one voyage in 1943, she carried over 16,600 people, still the record for the most people on one vessel at the same time. Following the war, Queen Mary returned to a passenger service and, along with the Queen Elizabeth, commenced the two-ship transatlantic passenger service for which the two ships were initially built. The pair dominated the transatlantic passenger transportation market until the dawn of the jet age in the late 50s. By the mid-60s, the Queen Mary was aging and operating at a loss. After several years of decreased profits, Cunard officially retired the Queen Mary from service in 1967. It was bought by the city of Long Beach to function as a restaurant, museum, and hotel. The Queen Mary left Southampton for the last time on October 31, 1967, and sailed to the port of Long Beach, where she was permanently moored. After undergoing extensive refurbishment and modifications, Queen Mary opened to the public in 1971 and has remained operational since. During the 1930s and the Great Depression, Cunard was forced to merge with the White Star Line. The White Star Line is better known for building the Titanic. Both lines agreed to the merger, and on May 10, 1934, the companies were merged. Oh, it's back here. Let's check it out. Observation bar. Game room. Down the hall, they have little areas like this one right here, which is like a children's area where they were able to drop their kids off and the kids could play in these little play areas. These are all old stuff that they had from back in the ship. They are glass stuff, so you can't go in there, but you can tell by the toys how old this stuff is. Notice down these hallways, the windows are enclosed, so there's no open decks on some of these levels. But you can go out here, and then you have a beautiful view of Long Beach. The sun's about to set. Oh, you want to go on the other side? Is the sun? So if you notice in the video, they have the very thick glass that lines the outside of the ship. So I think back in the day, the railings weren't as high as they are today. So they put that glass up. This is the other side of the deck. It's the main hall area. And they have all up and down the halls, they have pictures. Walking up and down the hall, you can look in windows and see these pianos, or you can see posters. They have all kinds of stuff that you can look and see how things were back when this was actually a cruise ship. And like I said, they have, this is the store that they have on the inside. So you can buy souvenirs here, and they also have different kind of things that would be used back in the day. This is an area on one of the decks that has models of the Titanic and models of the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth. These are the neatest things ever. So that was the horn for the Queen Mary. I was lucky enough to hear that. But back to these models. They are actual models of what the ship would look like back when they were active. They have little people. They have room areas, the dining areas, the staircases. Just beautiful. And around the ships, they had little note cards that told you about what was going on and information about the ships. And these ships right here were probably about 10 or 12 foot long. That's how long they were. And they probably were about 4 or 5 foot tall. So they were a good size. Here is the current day gym on board, and then the gym that they had back in the day on board. So when you first come on the Queen Mary, you're going to get a little ticket that gives you a chance to go to this guy right here and get a glass of champagne. And that's what we did. We got our glass of champagne and did some toasts. And we sat around in this little sitting area next to the reception area and looked for ghosts. We went up to the engine room and we were able to see how they actually ran the ship in the old school days. Today it's ran with a little like an Atari controller or something. These are the areas where the captain would have stayed. They have like a little apartment. These are the actual hardware and everything in the bathrooms. These are the actual rooms. So they're glassed off. You can't get in there. But then you go outside. They had a telephone booth. This beautiful Fernanda Grell. We had old weight scales. And then this right here is the Queen Room, which would be the dining area for the first class passengers.
All right, I'm going in. Hey. Oh, wow. How cool is this? Oops. Be careful, I almost tripped and fell in there. Did you see that? I did, I almost tripped and fell in there. Wait, I gotta do a little. Am I doing video? Oh, I don't know how to flip it around. I almost fell in there. This is really cool. This is really cool. Really cool.
I hope you enjoyed this awesome video of the Queen Mary ship tour. Don't forget to check out my haunted paranormal tour on the Queen Mary. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos. And remember, it's up to you to make it fun, make it yours. See you the next time.